Our school's been focusing on reconciliation activities. So we created a heart garden as a school-wide project, and my class today was continuing the theme of reconciliation by examining the location and the communities on the map where there are residential schools. And then the next step was to talk about the distance that some children had to travel or were sent to different residential schools around the area that they live. And then we were continuing to talk about community and how the loss of the children could affect a community. What are some things that maybe would be destroyed by having no kids around to participate? I find the map to be a really powerful resource. All the students that walk onto it for the first time, right away they try to find their community. And of course, without the provincial lines and the territory lines, it's really hard to do. And it's just perspective. It's just shifting perspective from grade 5 to grade 8. Every kid felt that shift, just looking at something that's so familiar to them, but in a different way. We focused on the Orange Shirt Day and sharing the story, creating different activities that different teachers could do in their classrooms based around that theme. We had David Bouchard come to the school and talk and share his stories. We were also lucky enough to have 2 elders and from the community come in and visit our school this year, and they shared their knowledge with grade 6s and with grade 7s. I think the last few activities and over the last few months, the students and staff have appreciated the experience, and they're gaining perspective, they're gaining education, and I think that everyone is benefiting from it, especially those students who are going to be responsible for our future one day.
I happen to have a love for art, and usually big art projects are kind of things that I tend to do. In art class, we've been working on a project where the students are learning to celebrate and honor who they are in their culture. And we've talked a lot about how, for most of us, for many of us, our families have come from somewhere else, and that we need to honor our ancestors, but that we also need to honor those people who were here before us in Alberta. We had an Elder Teresa Strawberry come in, and she brought in a picture, and she was kind of talking about different stories of creation that she follows and understands and that she honors. And then as well, her nephew, Garrett Strawberry, came in, and he also presented some pictures to the students, some of his art that he'd been sharing with the students. And it was great because he gave them the opportunity to look at each picture separately and explain what they saw in each of the pictures before he gave his explanation of what the pictures meant and what they meant to him. Past years, I've had the students make some art that also kind of honors who they are in their culture. And so I thought, who better to follow along that lines other than Janvier, who in Sherwood Park, we're very fortunate to have so much of his art that's very accessible to all the students. Went through some of his artwork, and so many of them have actually been on a field trip to the county hall to see the spiral staircase and to see the art in the library. It's been an incredible journey, and again, I really just don't feel like I've done enough. I don't feel like I've done it justice. And I sometimes wonder, how could things have been differently? How could life in Alberta and Canada have turned out differently if we maybe had honored all of these people who were here before us? And I think that's important, and I hope that I've instilled that in my students too, to kind of wonder, what could it have been like, and how can we move forward, and how can we treat each other with respect?